Oh, beautiful punch that. That was one out of the blue. Now, he used to have the best recuperative fouls I've ever seen on a heavyweight, Holmes. And I tell you what, the crowd are behind him, they love it. I thought the press were a bit too harsh on Holmes. Fourth round. No, Father Time's going to lick him, his legs are spread. Hey, who's going to stop this caveman of a champion coming in?
Heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali!
And the crowd absolutely adore him. Even some of the hard-bitten newspaper men around me here are standing and applauding. The one and only. The Las Vegas odds went to
January 22nd, 1988, at Trump Plaza, Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was here that a legend, who had left the boxing world for nearly 2 years, decided to step back onto the fighting floor to face a young monster named Mike Tyson.
Was going to go straight at him. He's the freight train fighter. Holmes has got to get that left jab working and try and gain at least some respect. It's incredible fighting in this man, Tyson. He just tries to snap at it. Against Marvis Frazier, Holmes had. He says, my man doesn't get hit nearly as much as people think.
No, just exactly what...
Mike Tyson entered this fight with a reputation as a destroyer capable of ending a duel within minutes. However, what happened was quite different. Tyson did not rush to look for a knockout from the opening round. He understood that the man standing in front of him was not a fighter who could easily be forced out of his rhythm.
And it looks as though Holmes is going to try and have what's known in the trade as a bit of a fiddly fight, spoil this fellow, been shaken off. And if he could do it, he'd be the oldest heavyweight champion of all.
Yeah, but without a doubt. See, Larry Holmes has never been in a situation where he's had to back off constantly box this kind of fight in his whole career. He's always a real brave man, as we very well know. And he must be finding this very difficult, especially...
Instead of attacking recklessly, Tyson chose to apply pressure patiently. Every step he took had a purpose: to cut off Holmes's movement little by little until his space on the fighting floor became increasingly limited. This technique is known as ring cutting, forcing an opponent to move in the desired direction without even realizing it.
There's no sign of that stinging left jab that Holmes had. Measure with...
I suppose we have to keep that in mind, but old Father Time is coming back after a long layoff against a man like Mike Tyson, and we can't really expect too much of him.
Never been stopped either, Larry Holmes. So it really will be a feat now for Tyson to do that, but he does look an unstoppable champion.
Holmes's ability to withstand Tyson's pressure is also often misunderstood. Many believe it was purely because his defensive skills were still exceptional. In reality, the biggest factor was the instincts of a veteran. Holmes knew when to shift his feet, when to pivot his body, and when to tie Tyson up in order to disrupt the rhythm of his attacks.
It's rough but clean, Jim. That's at least something. I thought it might just get out of hand for a while, but it hasn't.
Yeah, well, some of the talk we were hearing before the fight, I thought maybe it'd be unsavoury, but no, this is good boxing.
Now, the old grandfather's fighting a smart fight. It's whether he can keep it up now, because there's constant nagging pressure.
Holmes put up a much better fight than most of Tyson's opponents during the first 3 rounds. His jab was still working effectively, his footwork remained agile, and on several occasions he managed to make Tyson miss his target.
Although he's undisputed champion, he's still a learner in many ways, and he's the first to say so. Oh, that was a good shot, right on the bell, and the punch is after the bell as well. Holmes is making his complaint quite rightly. Well, into the 4th, and the big odds we hear from Las Vegas is that the main bulk of betting was that Holmes would go at least 7 rounds. So, up on his toes now, Holmes. He's had his look around. And I tell you what, the crowd are behind him, they love it. suppose you could make a comparison, Jim, when Sugar Ray Leonard was being written off before he fought Marvin Hagler and then came out and won it. In many ways, I thought that the press were a bit too harsh on Holmes.
Yeah, well, we have to remember his age, the fact that he's had a layoff. I worried, I must be honest, I worried for Holmes' welfare before this fight's begun. But he's trying to get himself into the fight now. He's landing jabs. He's just taking a good left hook there from Tyson. But at all times, I fear.
But everything changed at the beginning of the fourth round. Before the first knockdown occurred, Holmes was still moving with the same pattern he had shown throughout the previous 3 rounds. He continued to use his trademark footwork and still looked confident, but the punch that sent him to the canvas became a turning point from which there was no recovery.
Oh, beautiful punch that. That was one out of...
The moment he got back to his feet, he was no longer the same. His footwork had lost its sharpness. He began retreating in straight lines. His balance was compromised, and he could no longer circle away to escape the pressure.
Just as he looked as though he was doing pretty well. Second time, now it won't necessarily happen if he does go down the third time, but his legs have totally disobeyed him now, Holmes. He's trying to get them back. He's got the experience of walking around the ring, listening to the Cortez's 8 counts. And there's plenty of time in the round now. Tyson won't let him off the hook surely now. What a brave fellow, the way he's walked back into this. Remarkable, but can he last out? 4th round. No, Father Time's gonna lick him, his legs are spread.
Without hesitation, Tyson increased the pressure and continued forcing Holmes onto the defensive until referee Joe Cortez stopped the fight after the 3rd knockdown, which left Holmes in critical condition for several moments.
How is he managing it, Jim, with the countdown clock? Can he make the round or not?
Reg, I can't believe he's still standing. These punches are tremendous punches, bang on target, and he's even trying to... Oh!
Well, that's it. He's waved the end there before the bell had a chance anyway. And what a brave showing by Larry Holmes that was. But as inevitable it was, a foolish comeback. Tyson looks down.
That victory meant far more than simply defending his world titles. Mike Tyson became the only boxer to force a referee stoppage against Larry Holmes before the final bell throughout Holmes' entire professional career.
Holmes' chin, he just hasn't got the reflex now at his age. And once more, Jim, from the overhead camera, it's quite painful to watch now, Jim. It's the total humiliation for a great fighter like Holmes to be seen. Well, what, 73 countries on television will see his downfall there. And that's the fighter must really take that.
It becomes an even more remarkable fact when considering that Holmes entered this fight at the age of 38 after spending nearly 2 years away from boxing. His decision to return was driven not primarily by the ambition to reclaim a world title, but by the enormous payday that convinced the former champion to come out of retirement and step back onto the fighting floor.
55 seconds of the 4th round, the winner, and still the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight